Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Houston Texans 10-year rebuild here on Madden 23. That is right. We are back. We return, and we are at episode number 5, season number 5. So we've made it to the halfway point. This is the 5th season. We've got 5 more seasons to go. We've already won a Super Bowl, so we're sitting on our high horse, just trying to, I don't know, see how many Super Bowls we can win in this series. I'd like to win at least one more, but we'll see. I don't know. Hope you guys go and enjoy. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's go see if the Houston Texans in season number 5 can win another championship. Here we are. It is season 5, year number 5, episode number 5. And as we always do, we start the season with setting our season goals. And I'm pretty sure we're going to make the playoffs this year, so I'm going to set the season goal to make the playoffs. I could say set the goal to win the Super Bowl, but I feel like every time I do that, we always end up losing the Super Bowl. If you remember, we had a really good season, and then we lost in the very first round of the playoffs. So I don't really have high hopes for for setting like the bar at the highest of highs. We did have to pay a lot of people last episode, and we couldn't end up paying a lot of people. So this is what the team looks like headed into year 5. CJ Stroud's a superstar development player. Alvin Kamara, superstar development player. Jordan Addison's an X factor. Harrison Jr. and Brandon Ayuk are superstars. Tristan Wirfs and Trey Smith are superstars. We got Kenyon Green, who's a stud. We've got O'Sullivan and Devine, who are studs. We've got Calvin Pryor, who's a generational X factor tight end. The offense is phenomenal. Then on defense, we've got Will Anderson Jr. and Nick Bosa. Great combination those two guys are, along with Ed Oliver and Sierra as well. Then you got Jordan, Witherspoon, and Tolliver at corner. You've got the safeties who are a little bit off. I don't really like the safeties too much, but hopefully they won't affect us that much, and we can maybe fill them in the offseason. That's the kind of the goal. The linebackers look okay, but the defense doesn't look as great as the offense. I don't feel super confident in what the defense is going to do. I'm just hoping that the offense is so good that the defense really doesn't matter too much. But I guess we'll wait and see. I'm going to simulate to the midseason mark, see where this team is sitting at, and I'll catch up with you guys then. We've made it to the midseason mark, and we sit at 6-1 on the season, looking pretty good as we head into the meat of the season, the real chunk part of the season. Negotiations for players. We don't have any cap space, and we need to bring back Kenyon Green, Dickerson, and O'Sullivan, Sierra. Oh, geez, this is not good. There's a good amount of players that need to come back, especially Kenyon Green, and we currently don't have the money to do that. I'm hoping that once we get to the off season and the cap space kind of jumps over, I'm hoping that it gives us enough money to at least sign Kenyon Green back, because that's a main thing that I want to do, because I don't really want to try to substitute a left guard this late into the rebuild. That's just going to hurt us, especially when I'm trying to win another Super Bowl. I don't know. It's going to be very difficult, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to simulate to the end of the season. Hopefully we can continue this momentum and keep up this hot streak and win the division, be the best record in the entire AFC, win get the 1 seed, not have to play in the wild card game. Those are all ideal situations that I want to be in, but I guess we'll find out when I simulate to the playoffs. We made it to the end of the season. We won the division, but we went 10-7, so we had a severe drop-off at the end of the year where we lost 6 games out of the final season schedule. I don't know why we struggled so much. It's kind of weird, kind of concerning as we head into the playoffs. But let's take a look at what the players did. So CJ Stroud, 4,700 yards, 43 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. That's a pretty good season. I'd like to see him drop down the interceptions to low double digits, but 43 touchdowns and 4,700 yards is hard to argue against. Then rushing, Alvin Kamara, 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns. Good production from him, as you would expect. Jordan Addison and Brandon Ayuk both had over 1,000 yards. Jordan Addison had 1,412 touchdowns, and then Brandon Ayuk had 1,208 touchdowns. Calvin Pryor, $8.99 with 9 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison kind of been overshadowed by Jordan Addison and Brandon Ayuk, but he's still very productive. 639 yards and 6 touchdowns as well. Defensively, we had 104 tackles from Tremaine Edmonds, no shock there. 5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions for him as well. Will Anderson Jr. had 92 tackles, 25 tackles for loss. Ed Oliver also had 25 tackles for loss, and 14.5 sacks. That's another crazy stat for him. Tavarius Arthur, the rookie safety, had 84 tackles in his rookie season. Pretty awesome there. Sack leader was Will Anderson Jr. Then Ed Oliver had 13. Nick Bosa had 12. Thurman Reese had 3.5. Interception leaders, I'm assuming it's just going to be like the guys that had 2. No, there's a couple players that had 4. The rookie from Clemson, Kenny Jordan, who's a 50. Wait, that's his. I thought he was a 57 overall. That's how many solo tackles he had. What's his overall? He is a 83. Okay. I don't know why I thought for a second that he was a 57 overall. That's my bad. But he had 4 interceptions, and there was another guy who had 4 interceptions. It was Kenny Jordan and Devin Witherspoon. So that is pretty darn awesome that we drafted a rookie corner who had 4 interceptions in his rookie season. Pretty awesome. Tolliver had 2. Phil Bennett Barber had 1. Good season in terms of the numbers. I'd like to see him a little bit higher for a couple different players, but pretty solid season nonetheless. And now we head to the postseason. Can we beat the Steelers in the wild card? We got to go through the gauntlet. We got to take out the wild card, then the divisional, then the championship, then the Super Bowl. It's a long road ahead, and it continues as we take on the Bengals in the NFL AFC divisional round. That was a long way of just saying the divisional round. The Bengals are a good team. I'm kind of scared of this one. But we have a breakout DB scenario. I don't know if it's going to happen. It usually doesn't happen. Tavarius Arthur says he was locked down, so we had to hold the Bengals. Yeah, this isn't going to happen. I'd be surprised if we win this game, let alone Arthur gets a development upgrade. But their defense isn't very good. It said they were an 83 defense. So maybe their defense is just going to be their weak spot, and we can exploit that and win the game. Yes, we can. 39-35. So we're headed to the AFC title game against the Chiefs. This is going to be a tough matchup. The Chiefs are always tough. Whenever you have Patrick Mahomes, you're always a contender. This is going to be a tough matchup. But we just beaten Joe Burrow, so it doesn't mean we can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, and I'm not surprised that you didn't do that. Not surprised one bit. Be it. Now, I would be surprised if we beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Come on, Texans. Don't let me down. Win another Super Bowl. Well, we got to get to the Super Bowl first. It is going to be a win, 42-31. We beat the Chiefs. The miracle run is continuing. CJ Stroud is him. He is him. Oh, man. Okay. We're taking on the Bears in the Super Bowl. What a weird matchup. Bears and Texans in the Super Bowl. Show this to any Bears or Texans fan and they won't believe you. But it's happening. Texans, Bears for the bowl. If we could win our second Super Bowl, that would be awesome. If we win our second Super Bowl here, then I'd have to say that this has been my most successful 10-year rebuild, because I've never won a Super Bowl this early. I won it in like year 3. I've never won a Super Bowl that early. And then to win 2 in the first 5 years has never been done in the history of this 10-year challenge. So if it could happen here against the 12-5 Bears, well, we've beaten teams that are better than us in the Bengals and Chiefs. So come on, just one more game, CJ. One more amazing game. And you can win a Super Bowl, a second one. Come on, CJ. We did it, 38-16. The Houston Texans are world champions for the second time in the rebuild. 2 in the first 5 years. The most successful challenge I've ever done. Oh my God. How did we win a Super Bowl this year when we went 10-7 and didn't look that good? But last year we had a much better record and got bumped in the first round. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but hey, I'm not complaining, because at the end of the day, we end up with a second Super Bowl. Tremaine Edmonds wins the MVP, probably because he had like a forced fumble or a pick six or something. He had something. But he does it. We don't win any other awards, but we are 2-time world champions. CJ Stroud got it the first year, and we get it with Tremaine Edmonds 2 years later. 5 years into the rebuild, we've won 2 championships. I actually can't believe it. I've never been this successful in the 10-year rebuild challenge. This is insane. 2 Super Bowls. 2 of them. I wish this was this easy for the Cardinals. The Cardinals are probably a better team. Although the defense on the Texans is probably a little bit better. Man, this is insane, the level of success that we've had. And we can't bring back anybody, though. Oh, no. I have minus $19 million. Everybody wants to come back, but I can't pay them. I cannot physically pay my players. Again, this is the 2nd year in a row. But we knew this was going to happen. Remember, I've talked about this before. I talked about it last episode. I didn't want to go to managed staff. I've talked about this previously, in last episode especially. We knew this was coming because of the fact that we paid so many players early in the rebuild. We paid to win a Super Bowl, and that happened. We did win a Super Bowl, and then we had to pay up our other players. Why can't I not pick the right thing? I'm trying to get to team salaries, not re-sign players. But now it's really coming back to bite us. We've gotten 2 Super Bowls, so that is awesome. It's more than a success, this series has been. Unfortunately, we can't pay anybody. Who's got penalties that aren't going to hurt us too bad? What is Kenyon Green's penalty crazy? Does he not even have one? Did I pass Kenyon Green already? Hold on. Kenyon Green's got to have a penalty. Kenyon Green has no penalty. So we might be able to get out of our contract with Kenyon Green, even though I don't want to. I want to bring Kenyon Green back. I really do. I was hoping he'd be here for the rest of the rebuild, but if I can trade him for no penalty and get some of the cap space back, oh, that sucks though. I really don't want to trade Kenyon Green because I love him. I think he's a really good player. But if we can chop off that much cap space, that would be awesome. Now, obviously, the deals are going to be pretty good in return for him. He's got a lot of value. I need to sign a guard, which is Elijah Vera Tucker's a very good option. Let me take a look at Elijah Vera Tucker's contract. Is he under contract for a few seasons? Because I don't want to fall into the same trap where I get caught having to pay somebody. So let me take a look at his contract. They're around the same overall. Elijah Vera Tucker's contract. He's got 3 years left on his deal, so that's good. So we don't have to worry too much about it. So if I accept that offer, we can move Vera Tucker, or we could have him play right guard and move the right guard to left guard. That's a possibility. We'd also get a 3rd round pick. I think this is the right move. We get value, and it's going to hurt our cap space, obviously, but that's not a big deal. Because we were able to replace our guard with maybe a better one. And he's under contract. So let's go to the adjust the lineups and see if Elijah Vera Tucker's going to play right guard or is he going to play left guard. They have him playing right guard. They moved Trey Smith over to left guard. So that's not a big deal. I'm fine with that. The offensive line maybe is even better now with Kenyon Green on the move. But I do like Kenyon Green a lot. Kamara moved down to star. That's not acceptable. He will be a superstar. And I also saw Marvin Harrison drop down. And Marvin Harrison, to be fair, hasn't had like a great season. But that's just because he's 3rd on the depth chart. It's not his fault. It's my fault. So I'm going to move him back up to superstar as well. And then we'll take a look at the defense, make sure everybody is good to go there. But 2-time Super Bowl champions in 5 seasons. Couldn't have asked, excuse me, couldn't have asked for a better series so far, a better start to a rebuild, 10-year rebuild, than to win 2 Super Bowls in 5 seasons. The quickest I've ever done it, that's for sure. All right, so the offense is back to normal. The defense both actually went back up to X Factor. Witherspoon's a superstar. Jordan's a superstar. I'm liking the look of this stuff. Okay, so we will go and see who else needs new contracts. I'm pretty sure O'Sullivan needed a new contract, right? Let me just make sure. I don't want to trade away anybody that actually didn't need to be traded away. So Dickerson, unfortunately, needs a new contract. Yeah, it was O'Sullivan and Sierra. They both need new contracts, and so does Justin Tolliver. So we got to trade those guys. Is it going to be even possible with negative money? I don't even know. I don't even know, but we'll find out if it's going to be possible or not. Yes, we will. Let's see. Okay, so let's just go and trade. Who was it? It was not Tavares Arthur. Howden does need to be traded, but it was Justin Tolliver, and it was, who else was it? It was Sierra. That's right. Okay, so we'll look at the value for Tolliver. He doesn't have any packages. That might be because we have no money. Let's throw in Sierra and see if it changes. No, okay, so I don't think we're going to be able to trade these guys. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to be able to trade them just because we don't have any money. And that sucks because I don't think we're going to be able to get anything for O'Sullivan either. That's too bad. That is too bad, but hey, I paid for Super Bowls and I got them. I got my money's worth. So you got to live with the decisions you make. And these decisions just happen to make us maybe a little bit worse. But I'd be happy if we didn't win. I mean, I wouldn't be happy, but I could live with the fact that we don't win any more Super Bowls the next 5 years, because we've already won 2. So we're in a free agent market. We obviously can't sign anybody, but I do want to take a look at the market and see who's just there. So we've got Mozzie Smith, an X Factor D tackle who really wants to be here, and I really want him to be here, but we can't afford him, unfortunately. Quinn Ewers is also in free agency. There's a lot of good players in this class. A little older, but some very good players in this class. Unfortunately for us, we can't afford any of them. So we're going to have to stick to our guns, stay with what we have, and just move to the draft. I don't even know what pick we have. I'm not sure what draft pick we have this year. I could take a look at the mock draft and see if there's anybody good, because I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know if there's anybody worth drafting, even though I don't think we can trade up. We might be able to trade up a little bit, but is there anybody even worth a trade up if we do need to trade up? I'm saying trade up a lot. So there's a really good left tackle. There's a good D tackle. Ooh, there's also a good corner. Okay, what's our pick at? We pick at, do we only have one? We might only have one. And no, we have 2, but they both are the last 2 picks of the draft. Very, very funny. Very funny. But are these guys generational? Is this corner generational? He's a 6'3" corner, has A zone coverage. He doesn't have the speed. His man coverage isn't bad, but anytime I've seen an A zone coverage corner, they've always been very good. And then we've got this guy right here, Rudy Alberts, who has elite speed and looks really good as well. Okay, so these guys have potential to be very, very good. Maybe not generational, but very, very good. And is there any way that we could possibly trade up to get them? Probably not. Probably not, I wouldn't think. Let me just go talk to the Lions and throw their second pick into the trade finder and see, maybe they want something that I have. Probably not. The only way that I'd be able to trade for this pick is with other draft picks, and I don't think that's going to be a possibility. So let's throw it in there. They want Calvin Pryor. We could trade for the second pick in the draft, but we'd have to give up our X Factor tight end, who is also generational. I can't do that, mainly because he's really good, and 2, because we lost Dickerson, who was also pretty good. So we don't really have the tight end depth. I can't trade away my tight end for the second overall pick. But at least they're willing to talk. The Dolphins had the 3rd pick. Do they want anything for it? They want Calvin Pryor or Brandon Ayuk. If we traded Brandon Ayuk, that would mean that Marvin Harrison would at least get some more shine. But then we wouldn't really have any wide receiver depth. We'd go down to Mitch Hyde. Mitch? And is that really what I want to do? Especially because we're going to be drafting a D tackle or a corner. Oh, that's tricky. I wish they wanted Ed Oliver. That is kind of insane. What about if I threw them Ed Oliver? What do they say to that? So, okay, so the only way that I can trade is if I accept one of their trades. But I don't think I can give up Brandon Ayuk. I don't think I can give up Brandon Ayuk. I don't think that the wide receiver depth is there. And maybe there's a wide receiver in this draft class that would be replaceable, or that could come in and replace Brandon Ayuk and fill out the depth. That's possible. Brandon Ayuk for the 4th pick, too. If we're going to trade him, we trade him for the 3rd pick. I didn't think I'd be put in a sticky situation like this. Why do they always got to make it tough? They always got to make me have the tough decisions. Brandon Ayuk again. How many picks before they don't want just Brandon Ayuk? Who had pick 7? I don't even remember who had pick 7. The Rams have pick 1. Are they even willing to talk? They are, and they want Trey Smith or Calvin Pryor. I'd be more comfortable to trade away Trey Smith if I didn't just give up Kenyon Green. I don't think it's possible to get up here without giving up something like Brandon Ayuk. It's definitely not going to be possible to give up both Brandon Ayuk and Calvin Pryor. I'm just not willing to do that to get both of those picks. Maybe if we were trading up to get like a wide receiver, I'd be more inclined to trade away Brandon Ayuk, but I can't rationalize in my mind trading away Brandon Ayuk even for a corner or a D tackle who could be generational. There's a possibility that they could be generational, but I don't think they are. Either of them are. I just don't know. No, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's the right decision to trade Ayuk. It's definitely not the right decision to trade Calvin Pryor. But I just don't think it's the right decision to trade Brandon Ayuk. Speaking of Calvin Pryor, his 5th-year option is here. We're going to pick it up because he's stud. So that's good. At least that saves us an extra year of not having to pay him a new contract. And we go to free agency recap and then the draft. I don't know. I feel like it's like a double-edged sword. It feels like a missed opportunity to not get these guys because I feel like they're going to be very, very good players. Probably the 2 of the best players in the entire class. But then again, we'd have to be trading away 2 players that are pretty much irreplaceable at this point. And I don't think that it's worth it. I really don't think it's worth it. There are some pretty good quarterbacks in this class, at least that's what it looks like. And then I'll go for, I don't know, I guess. Eddie Franklin. Oh, such tough decisions. Why do they got to make the decisions so tough? I just want to have all the good players and win a bunch of championships. Is that too much to ask? Am I asking for so much that it's impossible? I guess. I think we just ride out with our team. I think that's going to be the option. And then we just draft whoever's here at 31 and 32. But I do want to see, with those boosted up numbers, I want to see how good these guys actually could be. So Rudy Alberts. Oh, Rudy looks amazing. His block shed could be a little bit better, but other than that, he looks unbelievable. Yeah, he looks unbelievable. He's going to be a very good player. He's going to be in the 80s probably. And then Paul Woodbury, a 6'3" corner with A zone coverage, is very, very awesome. He also looks pretty good. But I can't rationalize. I can't trade away Brandon Ayuk. Not for a defensive player. If we were trading for a wide receiver, there's a generational wide receiver in this class, then I'd have a different conversation. but I can't trade a wide receiver, especially when it's really bad because we don't have the depth at wide receiver. We'd have Jordan Addison, Marvin Harrison, and then nobody. So I can't do that. We have to have at least 3 good wide receivers. Aldridge goes number 1 to the Rams. I'm expecting the tight end to go, or the D tackle to go number 2, and he does. And then where is the corner going to go? He goes the next pick. I wanted him. I really, really wanted him, but it just wasn't the smart move. It was not the smart move to take them or to trade up to get them, even though they're probably going to be very, very good. It was not the move. There's a lot of offensive linemen. We probably could use some good... We could definitely need some good depth at offensive line. And this guy, Josh Fisher, could be that guy. He looks to be okay. He's got some flaws, but everybody does. How about this guy? Who is it? It's Joe Santos. He's 6'6". He's not as good of an athlete as the other guy was. Okay, very interesting. Definitely not the best athlete. What about this guy? Oscar Sharp? Okay, Oscar Sharp, now we're talking. His run block is pretty good. I hope, at least. It's got a good range. His pass block is average. I think I'm going to take 2 tackles. I think I'm going to take Fisher, and then I'm going to take Oscar Sharp. We have back-to-back picks, so it doesn't matter who I take first. And Josh Fisher has a star development, or star or better development. So we take him, and then we come back with our next pick, and we take Sharp, or we could trade the pick. Is there anybody out there that wants a first-round pick? For a first-round pick? The Vikings, and the Steelers, and the Commanders. Oh... Okay, now we're talking here. Now we are speaking a good language. So we could trade with the Steelers, but they're pretty good. The Commanders are also pretty good. But those are really the teams that are giving me the 3rd round picks as well. And I think I'd rather have a 3rd round pick alongside the 1st round pick. So I'm going to trade the 2nd 1st round pick for a 1st rounder next year and bank on the fact the Steelers could be bad. I guess it's possible. I don't see a world where... Oh, I wanted to skip... I didn't mean to skip that far, but I don't see... What I was going to say was, I don't see a world where that tackle is still on the board. I think his name was Sharp. No, he's gone. I figured he would be. I didn't see a world where he was still going to be available. How good is this guy? Michael Wallace. Okay, looks decent athletically. B power moves, C block shed. He looks okay. He's probably a 2nd round pick. I don't know if he's a 2nd round pick that I would take. How about this guy, Maurice McFadden? Maurice McFadden is a solid athlete, nothing special. Looks okay. He doesn't look bad. There's not really anybody else super intriguing here. There is a zone coverage corner who's like 6'1". Alan Byers? I think we might take him with our second round pick because we have 2 of them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Michael Wallace, the D tackle. He is normal development, not surprised. And then we're going to simulate to our next 2nd round pick. And hopefully the corner Byers doesn't get taken. I think he should be on the board. We actually have 3 2nd round picks. When did I get 3 2nd round picks from? I don't even remember, but Byers is not on the board. Byers got taken? Wow, okay. I'll just take Maurice McFadden then. I can't believe that Alan Byers got taken. I really thought that he'd be there. Maurice McFadden is hidden development, so that's good. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use this next 2nd round pick. Actually, I'll probably just trade this next 2nd round pick. Why not? Maybe we can get a 2nd round pick back in return for it, and then I'll probably simulate the rest of the draft. Yeah, we can get second rounders back in return, which is always good. I'm going to stay away from the Steelers because we took their first. I don't want to take their second, too. Let's see. We can get some good value for this. Nothing crazy, though. I would prefer 2 2028 picks, which is what the Vikings are giving me. No, they're 2027. Sorry. The Steelers are giving me that. Ooh, but the Seahawks are giving me 3, 4, and a 6. I don't want a 3, 4, and a 6. I want a 2. And that's what the Commanders are giving me. The Commanders are giving me a 2, 4, and a 7. I think I'm going to take that. Thank you, Washington. And then I think I'm just going to simulate the rest of this draft. And we'll go into draft recap and see just how good some of those players are. And especially find out how good that D-tackle and corner were. I really hope they're not like generational, because then that's going to make me even more sad than I already am for not being able to get them. Because I really wanted them. I really, really, really wanted them. Really. So we're going to find out just how good they are right here. So the right tackle is a 72. The D tackle is a 71. The 71 guard. And then they took a running back in the third round. He's a 73. All right, everybody else is kind of garbage, but that's okay. Please tell me they weren't amazing. Please tell me they weren't amazing. I see already that they weren't an 80, so that's good. There wasn't an 80 in this class. That makes me a little bit happier. 78 for the corner. Let me take a look at his development trait, because I'm assuming he has one, and he does. Please let it be star. Please let it be star. Yes. Okay, so we didn't miss out much on the corner Woodbury. But what about the D-tackle Alberts? What about him? He's a 76, so we also not like phenomenal. But if his is also star, then I'd consider it not a bad idea to not trade out. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Brilliant. Now I'm not as upset, because we would have given up Brandon Ayuk, who we desperately need, for a D-tackle / corner who were high 70s but only star development. Now I'm not that upset with the fact that we didn't draft them. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how the offseason went to an extent. I mean, we did get a good upgrade at guard, which is awesome. We got Elijah Vera Tucker. Other than that, we didn't really do much in this draft or this offseason. But we did just win a second Super Bowl, so this video has been a successful video. I keep forgetting. It's like the offseason was so dramatic in the fact that we were trying to make all these different things happen, and we didn't have any money, that we kind of blow by the fact that we did win the Super Bowl this year for the second time in the 5-year rebuild so far, in the 5 years so far. And we're basically bringing back the same roster. So I would expect us to be in the Super Bowl again. Is that too much to ask for? Is that too stupid to think about? That we could, if we bring back the exact same roster, we should be right back where we were just last year? I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.